It's cool and green. Royal we culture we clean. Fi straighten up something that them lean with transparency from the agency of the I Supreme. Cosmic intuition and initiation from within. I'm another angel and on a wing like pigeon. Concept I accept of I origin. Representing free-minded article breaching. Man without a woman is like a house without kitchen. People without them roots is like plants for edging. Everything perish without oxygen. Them a vibration, them a waves and them a sound palm rhythm. Hey! Time for the lions. Tell them one story. Listen to the lion voice, yeah? Up.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's voice. Now put it. I jolly for said that.
All right. So I touching Barbados. So that was the first Bobo touching Barbados. That was 1981. And I went to Antigua. First Bobo in Antigua. They put me out of Antigua. Literally, buckle my seatbelt and send me out. After a couple of hours, they say, you can't stay here. I met the people who are staying thereby, who had things, said I was going by. I meet them I stay in the airport from 10 o'clock till 6. Finally get on to the people. They let me go and they tell me, come back in the airport by 6 next day. And I reach back in the airport by 10. And they say they're now getting ready to send police out for me. You know, the commissioner didn't even talk to me. I just see him in the corner down there. A black man, bald-headed. And the officer showing him, well, you know, he did get the people them who stay, look them here. You want to see the man, so? That means to say, out of Antigua. They sent me out of Antigua, so I ended up touching down in St. Croix. Now, I reached Jamaica, I believe it was on Wednesday, was about around 1 o'clock in the evening. When I came out, the 3 people, because I wrote Prince Emmanuel and tell him I'm coming, so he expected me. Out of one of the 3 people who he sent to meet me in the airport, one of them is the person who was responsible for the death of my son. It's the first time I experienced that my presence, a person stood up just because of my presence. He didn't just keep sitting and say, bless Allah, what? No. Honorable Prince Emmanuel is a royalty, you know. He's a mighty, mighty soul there. You know, say, the kind of integrity and moral ethics that him show us in the most humblest way. He sit down and say, well, do this and do that and do that. But when you observe the king and you observe the general, how him carry himself, how him relate to each and everyone, how him relate to you. So I came in the audience of the king and he stood up and blessed me. Now, the king is a man. Honorable Prince Emmanuel Charles Edward is a man. When you come into his space, he does all the talking for like at least a minute or 2. And all he's talking about is you. Give thanks for the honorable patriarch, the mighty battle axe and weapon, my lord. When he done talk to you, you can run through a troop or leap over a wall. You feel like a powerful man. When we reach Africa, the first thing we want to build instead of a church is a business. Because sustainability is a key. We see all of us getting elder, none of us wear glasses, none of us need dental works and health works. Where is the Bobo dentist? Where is the Rastaman optician?
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
But the Almighty has manifested himself in physical form and was born as Lich Tafari Makonnen. Through hard work and diligence he attained the title of the Chasmach. When he fought in many wars and was crowned as Ras. By the will of the people he was given the title of Negus, and by destiny Nogus Nagas, the King of Kings. I and I are his children.
One day we are gonna do where Marco say, take a long journey across the ocean wave. One day we'll do things Rastafari way. One day we are gonna give Jah thanks and praise. One day we are gonna do where Marco say, take a long journey across the ocean wave. One day we'll do things Rastafari way. One day we gonna free our mental slave. One day we are gonna live better. Be that listen, I see I speech.
What do you have to tell the people about Rastafari?
Light to the world. The King of Kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's my ruler? Hey yo! E.A.I.B.C. Hear them high, hear the Black King on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi. They stole my people, then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill the lion we come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, I and I strive, see sufferation, I and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come if you tell them in a Toronto, straight at Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Banso, aka the Chasmach Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. I'm a creative industry attorney, I'm an artist, I'm an author, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of the Lion Talk. Welcome to Lion Talk and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own story. Today we have a very special guest. We return to the island of Trinidad and Tobago, the Republic, and we reason with one of our great elders, highly recommended ancient, who has been a pillar within the Trinidad and Tobago Rastafari community, one of the elders within the order of the Bobo Shanti. As the item know, we've had several Bobo Shanti featured on the platform. Always have to big up Honorable Priest Lamont, I Brethren, and others who have blessed us, with the teachings and the good cheer that always come with the Bobo Shanti order principle. And we're going to go deep today on this episode, again, with one of the pillars in the Trinidad and Tobago Rastafari family. So make sure you have your ital snacks. If it's sacrament, prepare your sacrament accordingly. Seat up and be prepared to go on an educational journey that you have become accustomed on this platform. Before we bring forward the elders, let me just big up the Lion Pride. We are now, very mighty. And if you subscribe to the platform, you become part of the Lion Pride. Big up every Lion Pride member. We just passed 20,000 subscribers, and we are racing forward. So I really give thanks globally for the family supporting this platform. And we're just getting started. High quality, high level Rastafari reasoning. Big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. These are the economic engine of the platform. They give monthly. We are currently in our 100 Lion Pride Strong campaign. We are looking for 100 ones to join the Patreon at the $10 a month level. We are offering consultations with no additional cost, 30-minute consultations where you sit with I, and I can help the I to craft your creative ecosystem. If you love what you see here on the Lion Voice, you don't have to wonder. You can join I, and I can show and help the I to craft your own ecosystem. And in this time, for all of the ones who are, who have a product, who have a service, it's very crucial to create your digital ecosystem so that you don't no longer become a local business. You become an international, global business. You know what I mean? Think locally, act globally, the saying. So that's how I moving in this time. So big up Lion Pride on Patreon. We only have 100 slots for the 100 Lion Pride Strong campaign, because after that, the time factor for I to sit down with everyone, it would become unmanageable. So this is a limited time vibration, and to all the younger Ras in particular, I would encourage the item, whatever your project is, start today, and also as part of that, invest in your network, become a part of the Lion Pride on Patreon. All right, big up the Action Lion Pride. If you like, you comment, you share, you are helping to grow the fastest growing Rastafari platform on the planet right now. It's because of the people. The voice of the people is the voice of the creator. The item have been wanting this high level Rastafari reasonings. Big up on yourself. We pray that the item become part of the Lion Pride on Patreon at one day, or part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. And I have to big up the Ubuntu Lion Pride. These are the ones who are giving a one-time contribution of over $70. Gets you to the Ubuntu Lion Pride. We just had Carib Life Media join us. Big up Carib Life Media. And big up all of the ones them who will become a part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. And finally, we big up the Watch and Peep Lion Pride, the watchers. Everyone starts as a watcher. You might just watch, you don't comment, you don't like, you don't share. Your vetting, you're making sure that we are doing the right thing, we're saying the right thing, that we are the right type of people, and that is part of the process. And then you can become part of the Action Lion Pride, and then you become part of the Lion Pride on Patreon or the Ubuntu. There's so much you can pick up. Brethren like Nick Nakus, who's a part of both the Ubuntu Lion Pride and the Action and the Lion Pride on Patreon. So once you're part of this ecosystem, there's many ways that you can contribute. When you see I am just one input, but this represents a community. And this is why we have guests like we have today, where we are bringing forward ones that we need to hear these songs, because the youths, them are not going to sit up at the feet of the elders like one time. So we have to bring the elders to the youth, them, globally, so that they can get that quality of reasoning. So today, and I want to big up Empress Sharon, Empress Men and Rising, all of the sister them in Trinidad. Empress Sharon said you have to interview Honorable Priest Imsley, you know what I mean? And I really give thanks one of our nice sister representing Lion Pride and the Lion Voice in Trinidad. Big up yourself, Empress Sharon, every time. So without any further delay, Lion Pride International Help to give a warm welcome to our honorable Priest Imsley. Royal greetings, Yeshent.
Blessed love, my Lord. Rastafari.
Haile Selassie I the first. Give thanks for the I presence and the I coming in. We are very thankful for the I. How we deal with this on this platform as customary, we ask our guests to step within a heretical time machine and to take us forward to the moment of the I birth. Let us know where the I was born and give the people your origin story. How did Priest Imsley manifest within the physical realm? And then tell us your journey to Rastafari.
Honorable, my Lord. First, with a call for reverence on the set,
Yes, I.
reverence in the virtual courts of King David. Glory be to our Father and to the Son, and to the Holy One of creation. As Jah was in the beginning, it's now and never shall be, Jah word without end. Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. To the work, we are servants of God. Let us follow the path that our Master hath trod. With the balm of his counsel, our strength to renew. Let us do with our hands what our mind tell us to do. Work in salvation at the ends of the earth. Man of right is God in flesh. Woman of right is God, said the Lord our God. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. And a blessed love to the Honorable Bongo Kwasi and the Lions Pride. Glorify and give thanks, my Lord. Also, blessed and give thanks to the Honorable Royal Empress Sharon for even recommending I to the Honorable Brethren. My name is Priest Imsley of Zion. My birth name would have been Neil Payne. Imsley would have been my middle name given by my grandfather. I was born on the 23rd of May 1955 in the province of Tunapuna, Trinidad. Tunapuna is 8 miles out of Trinidad. I was born in a house like the long time people. So when my mother and they went to register me, the people them in the register made a mistake and put the 24th. So I was born on the 23rd, but all my legal papers is the 24th. So it come like I have two days. That's yeah. All right. Yes, my lad. And at first, Empress Sharon told me about the I and the interview, and I was kind of skeptical because sometimes people get the wrong intention, like if you're self-boasting and all these other kind of low human being manifestation. But the Father showed me, say, well, it's nothing to be ashamed of, and it's a good thing to declare where you come from and where you are and where you will be going, because simply it's a relay. So the time coming where we will have to pass off the baton to the younger generation coming. So it will be only proper and right that we can, because they say life is to be lived forward, but judge backward. Meaning to say, you always look where you're coming from to see where you're going to. So as young Rastaman coming up from in the 70s, is a lot of things that we see that we used to say that even now, 2025, we actually starting to get a fullness of it. Because I have a saying that the Almighty God is so infinite, so omnipotent, omnipresent, that you cannot know him like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's
Yes.
a lifelong meditation. So I say that all to say that some things that how we saw it in the beginning, we kind of redefining it and refining it and bringing it a point of clarity, because facts and reality must be our pillar post going forward.
Haile Selassie the first.
So as a little youth, I was always interested in God.
Give thanks.
And I went to plenty church. Well, I was born in 55, so those days, your grandmother and them carrying you to church. You could have did say, what? You have to go to
Okay.
church.
You have to go to church.
You
Were
know?
there a lot of
Yeah.
Rastafari around in Trinidad in 55? Were there any? Did you see any Rastafari brethren and
No,
sister
my
in
Lord, there was none.
Trinidad?
None that
Yeah.
I know of.
Give thanks. Give thanks.
No. Jamaica is a different place
Yeah.
because Rasta birthday, so the people them are accustomed with Rasta around and about. In Trinidad, we
Yes.
didn't have that privilege, you know.
Okay.
So as a little youth, I always find myself, in the church with my granny, and I always used to um I always had that interest, you know, always had that interest in church. So to the point that even when they say all who want to give their all who want to give themselves to Jesus, I always was in line as a youth. And then when I come back down, I always tell my mama, but mama, I ain't feeling no different. Cause I supposed to feel some sort of difference.
Haile.
And in coming up, we had this hymn that they say, by cool Shiloh shady rail, how sweet the lily grows, how sweet the breath beneath the hill of Sharon's dewy rose. Lo, such the child whose early feet the paths of peace have trod, whose secret art with insolence sweet is upward drawn to God. So a lot of us from in the 50s, we were upward drawn to God. And as I grow older, I still never really heard about Rastafari.
Okay.
But in my teenage years, which is now in the 70s, in the 70s, we start to hear a lot of Bob Marley music.
Okay.
Because to the way how they kind of set the West Indies, you find we never really used to grounds with each other.
Yes.
In the early, everybody want to go England to better their life. And as it come
Yes.
down lower down, everybody going to America to better their life. We didn't have that much inter-island movement. From since
Yes.
in the 60s when Eric Williams, they tried to have the federation and it
Yes.
never worked, So we never had that interacting. But then we come and we start see these artists, you know, playing Rastafari. So around that time now, I migrated to America,
Okay.
Philadelphia. So now I was around a more Caribbean community. I am
Yes.
meeting people from St. Vincent, from Jamaica, and all these things. So I end up meeting. So by this time now, something in me telling me Rastafari.
Haile.
When I was small, growing up, if you want to get licks, licks, get your children get a beating. If you want to get a beating, make noise during the death announcements. So mama and
Oh.
them, yeah, from death announcement come up, you have to be quiet. Whole house have to shut up. So now those days, the grandmother, the children them used to go to a lot of funerals. Children in front of the hearse. I say all this to see how it lead up.
Yes, sir.
And I, as a youth now, the characteristics of what I have, the character of me, is if I'm doing something, I might as well just do it to the fullest. So you find every funeral, I used to be looking at the dead. And then when I come home, I get sad and I start to cry. And mama say, what you crying for? And I say, mama, I don't want the dead. Mama, I don't want the dead, mama. Yes, but yes, I'm full of everybody after dead. So this is a thought in my heaven. So
Yes,
as a
sir.
teenager now, I I was a seeker. So you find I read of Buddha, I read about Krishna, read about Islam. Well, I don't tell you I grew up in the Christian church, but
Yes.
all of them not giving me that yearning what I was looking for
Yes,
until I
sir.
meet some Rastaman. And Rastaman tell me, read Revelation 5. And then, he started to show me of Selassie. But the main thing what did hold me is that Rastaman don't dead.
Hot, hot, hot,
So
hot.
when I saw it, hear me now, I knew I would have find it. I knew it existed. But I say that to say a very important point. At the beginning, I told you, God, the Almighty Infinite, so high, so deep, and so wide, cannot be known like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that point is a serious point that even draw me further into Rastafari. So we can put a pin on that and we can
Yes.
pick it up as we
Yeah,
move
man.
later on.
Crucial, crucial,
So in
crucial.
Philadelphia, I met some Rastaman, a brethren named Tuli Dread, Ati, some man who come from Jamaica,
Yes, I.
Ibo, and we started grounding within Rastafari. Iron. That's why I hear the name Imsley. My son named Maya. My empress
Okay.
did name Empress IC. We was into the I and the Y
Yes,
as
I.
Rastafari. We used to play with reggae music, but strictly roots music. This is how a lot of us in Trinidad was exposed to Rastafari.
Yes.
And we always group together. We always try initiatives together. We
Yes.
always see Africa. We always see the black man need to rise. We see the
Okay.
need for unity. So these watchwords was our groundation within
This was the
Rastafari.
80s. This was the 80s.
This is the 70s.
Oh, still 70s. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is the 70s. I was a teenager, you
Yes.
know.
Yes, sir.
So I turned 18 and I started dreadlocks. My
Okay.
mother and them gave me enough fight, but I weathered the storm because what I did see, and as I tell you, say, I finally found it. Dr. Man don't dead.
Will die. Highly.
Yeah.
Original
So,
teaching. The original teaching. Hmm.
yes, my lad. So, within the growing within I and I as roots Rastaman, we say we Naya Bingi. I never know anything about Bobo at that time. Naya
Okay.
Bingi vibe. You know, we playing with music and chanting and when you come to we dance as Rastaman, you don't even dance with your woman. We don't even play love music. It's Selassie and vibes. When you come a Rastaman dance, it don't have a beer, it don't have a stout. You don't have no wine, no rum. You have all kind of food, all kind of juice, all kind of fruits, and plenty ganja. And that's how we grow ground in the thing. So then now, I was back and forth in Trinidad. So I know enough of the young Rastaman who's prominent today, like the brethren who run in 12 tribe of Israel, Trini Levi. Me and he
Yes.
was good brethren. All of us was affiliated under Nyabingi order.
Okay.
So in Philly now again, with my brethren and them, I get a empress, I have a youth. But we always seek and say, had to be something higher than this. Yes, they say praise Jah in the dance, but that solemnity that we see is required to praise Jah, it was not in the dance.
Okay.
Yes, he was Irie, Rastafari and Jah and everything, but the solemnity which we were seeking for. So then one day, a brethren named E.A.I.B.C came with a Gleaner newspaper from Jamaica. And in the
Okay.
front page, you see Prince Emmanuel tell all Rastas is African, something like that. But it was Prince Emmanuel and our entourage had an interview in the Gleaner. So when we see that now, we say, Rasta, and that vibe that we are look for,
Okay.
And that vibe that we are look for now. So then now, the Almighty God, is a mighty God because he dwells internal. And from your open your heart to him, he can guide you in pathways. So now I come and I meet our brethren in New York through the yard man them who are around, E.A.I.B.C especially, a brethren named Brandel, Honorable Prophet Brandel, who really bring the Bobo Shanti culture and make it known up in New York. So then they
Okay.
come and they meet another man like Priest Turks and Priest Bannock and Priest Knuckles and Priest Nappy. But all that we meeting now, before we put on turban, we don't reach on the hill yet. But we
Yes.
start moving in the vibes, So we all say we want to reach up there. A brethren named Priest Iril and E.A.I.B.C, they made the first step from America, from our little crew to go
Yes.
there. Priest Turk and Priest Bannock reached there. But when I went visited Priest Bannock, because we saying Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I,
Yes, sir.
Jah, Rastafari. But the group mentality is there also. But to really get a full explanation, we still ain't fully have it. So I
Yes.
visited, I get a moment and I passed through by Priest Bannock. And he had a picture of Selassie, Marcus, and Honorable Prince Emmanuel. On
Yes.
that Selassie, had King Emmanuel the seven. Under Marcus, he had Prophet Emmanuel the seven. Under Prince Emmanuel, he had Priest Emmanuel the seven. And I said, whoa, I now understand it. The 3-in-1 and the 1-in-3.
Okay.
I now understand. Just by that eye trip, I understand the meditation, how we
Yeah.
can see God in 3 persons, priest, prophet, and king. King, priest,
Okay.
and prophet. All right. So then now we all on a meditation to reach Jamaica. So I come down Trinidad. I had two children, 3 children at that time. But I left them up with my empress. And we was living with couple of other brethren living with us. And that is how the trust and understanding and brotherhood and sisterhood was. I could have did leave my wife amongst brethren and confident that it's up for living amongst us all. Right? While I was in Trinidad, in this same place here, I got a cable saying, be strong in this time of great tribulation. Jawara takes sick on Tuesday and is dead.
Hmm.
That's my
Who's you?
first son.
Oh, wow. 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 Condolence.
It was like, you could imagine. Because I tell you, I just found it out, Rastaman don't die.
Yes.
And his son come and die. And
Wow.
it was at the hands of a brethren. I wouldn't say he took him to kill him, but zealousness, and dogmatic behavior was the contributing factor to his death.
Okay, so it was at the hands of another one, not
Yes,
even
my lad.
more, not even more serious.
Yes, my lad. So now I came back up. I was in Trinidad when I get that word. So I came back up. I never went to the funeral because Rastaman don't go funeral. Okay. But I persevered in the faith still. I went up in New Jersey by some brethren. Our brethren, they just come back from Bobo Hill. Priest Aikil, Priest Diego. So I went up there and meet them. And to the way how they talk of the hill, if I was a money man, I would have reached Jamaica the next day. Because what they were saying and the levity what they're showing is that levity I meditate on, dreamed about from since a little child. So now I went back down Philly. But I was so impressed by the brethren. When I went back down Philly, I buy some cloth and I look at them how they tie the turban and I end up putting on a turban. How was it take me to get the thing right? But I end up putting on a turban. So now I'm a turban man and I bringing my children and my wife home in Trinidad here because our son just died.
Yes.
So I came down here in Trinidad now as one of the first man were in Trinidad with a turban
Okay.
professing
Wow.
professing Bobo Shanti, 3 and 1 and 3. Now I wasn't a Jamaican, I was a born in Trinidad. But you find in America, I was strictly around Jamaicans. And then now my mother was a free-hearted person. So my house was always the gathering spot. You could come by me and burn herb and everything, no problem. All right. So fast forward now, we come to Trinidad. And enough of the young Rasta man them now start around my age said we, and little younger, start check me on the Bobo. Bobo Shanti in Trinidad started right here in this gallery. My wife at that time told me, I'm here doing the same thing. Man and man start come around, remember what go on? I say, yeah, but what you want me to do? You know? And man and man start come around. To the point now, me say, we had to find a spot in the mountain because it's getting too big for my father house. In 1980, when I came back down here, the youth died in 21st of May 1980. I reached down Trinidad in September 1980. And as I say, moving in the faith, we rise a bingy the 2nd of November 1980 up in the mountain. Because a couple of people, well, my brother who have one turban and next brethren, the three of we now have one turban in Trinidad. And the movement starting to pick a momentum in itself. So I was a prophet still, but I was aware of how the service thing go up and the three Naya the Daniel band and the Royal Guard with the banners. So set up a thing just like that. I say that to say that in the middle of the service, we started hearing a noise coming through the bushes. And if you're ever in the bush, you could always judge the size of something by the noise that it's making coming through. So the noise we started here, this is something big. That we say, but we it have animals up here. The service actually pause and everybody looking to see if it's run, we have to go run. And it's two brethren bus out. We looking for Imsley. I say, look, my Imsley. Yes, now may I look for you, my brethren. I say, what? And they come in. Brethren named Priest Omari and our brethren at them time the Prophet Omari, Prophet Aki. And they came in. So the movement start to rise now. You have Prophet Shumba, Prophet Idoa, Prophet Mugu. So I say, oh, there, this getting too big for my father house. So we go up in the mountain. So we gone up and we find a spot in the mountain. So then I say, brethren, you know, as a man, I don't like to push up myself. And it reaching to a point that all I know, I don't show the item. And we have to grow. So let me write that a letter and tell him, send a priest in Trinidad to show you the way. And we did write a letter. Well, I pen it, but it was a thing where all of us here, the rewritings and thing, and send the letter and thing. So every day now we're looking out for the postmaster. It's not like nowadays where information could be transmitted almost immediately. You know,
Yes.
say, yeah. So every day, post, you know. One day, the post finally drop a letter. My Lord, it was like, whoa, Prince Emmanuel, right where I are. Sit down and we open the letter. He welcome we, get thanks for the words. What me sent him, because I told him how we welcome him in our hearts, in our soul, in our minds. And, you know, we'd like to know the way. And so he said, sir, it will be better if you reach up here in my courts before I sent a priest down there, because I don't really know you. So it would be a good thing if you reach up here first. And I say, all right. So, well, I was a traveling man, so I have my passport. And to the way how fun that is, because it's just young, all of us, I was like, must be 24. And the brethren them was there who was even younger than me. So I end up getting a passage and buy a ticket to go Jamaica. But remember now, I tell you, I don't put on my turban. I never went through the official, but the zeal in my heart. All right. So I touched in Barbados. That I was the first Bobo touching Barbados. That was 1981. Then I
Okay.
went to Antigua, first Bobo in Antigua. They put me out of Antigua, literally, buckle my seatbelt and send me out. After a couple hours, I can't say, you can't stay here. I met the people who had stayed there by, who had thing, said I was going by. I meet them I stay in the airport from 10 o'clock till 6. Finally get on to the people. They let me go and they tell me come back in the airport by 6 next day. And I reach back in the airport by 10. And they say they're now getting ready to send police out for me. You know, the commissioner didn't even talk to me. I just see him in the corner down there, a black man, bald headed. And the officer showed him, well, you know, he get the people them who stay, look them here. You want to see the man, so? That means to say, out of Antigua. They sent me out of Antigua. So I end up touching down in St. Croix. And I meet our brethren, Honorable Prophet, who priest as well, and deceased priest Obadiah. And me give them the word. So me fashion myself like one of the disciples moving through. Just pass it and give me the word. Because, you know, this wine so sweet. Just taste it. I know if you taste this wine, you go want the buckle. Yeah, Satan. So, you know, me reach up there. It was mystical too, because when I went St. Croix, the address I had for the brethren, Aswad, priest Aswad. When I went there, the people say, he moved. This is about 6 o'clock in the evening in St. Croix, knows no one. Place getting dark. The driver who I took to move to come there from the airport, he asked me, say, you looking for a tall brown skin man? I say, yeah, hold on, man, no worry, man. I me move him yesterday. So the same man who move him, I end up getting to show you how the God I move too.
Yes,
You
yes.
know? That when the brethren see me, he want to know, how you know I here? I just move. And I say, I saw the God move. And we talk and thing, and I didn't know him from in Trinidad. I spent 7 days there. And before I left, I put on the turban. and I went to yard. Now, I reached Jamaica, I believe it was a Wednesday, was about around 1 o'clock in the evening. When I came out, the 3 people, cause I wrote Prince Emmanuel and tell him I'm coming, so he expecting me. Out of one of the 3 people who he sent to meet me in the airport, one of them is the person who was responsible for the death of my son. So, but that's our next story, because I never held him in contempt in my heart. I know it was wrong what he did. He never went and take the child to kill him. You know? So I didn't have that contempt and that, because it was so dread. My mother used to work in the bank in South Philly. South Philly is peer mafia. And she was, when you work in the bank as a teller, you end up building up relations with people, because every day they come in, every week they come in the bank, and you know what I mean? So the mafia boy, them, they know my mother as a nice lady and polite. And so when they heard that when she get the news, she passed out on the job. So when all the news come wrong, and you know, it was in the papers, and she get a mortician to deal with the boy, the mortician tells she, just give him the word, and that man is dead. Anyway, in the system he is.
Wow.
So she come and she tell me, I say, Mom, it gonna make we kind of even worse. Because he didn't take Jaja to kill him. But for we now to put out a contract and kill him, it come like we worse. And it ain't gonna bring Jaja back. Jaja done gone. So best he get a chance to set him life in a proper order. You know, me even visited him in jail. Me carry her for him in jail.
Can the
All
I
right.
say, is the I comfortable to say what happened, because maybe it saved somebody else's life too? What did the brethren do to your son? Yeah, his son.
Well, he beat my son.
Wow.
So-called teaching him A.B.C lesson. He was 4 years old, but he was exceedingly bright. And this brethren is our brethren. And in the thing, my son fall down and hit his head. And he, with lack of medical experience, bathed the youth and put him to sleep. And the brain swell. He had a concussion.
Oh.
You know? So that was the long and short of it. So coming forward now, 3 of the man them carry me, well, you know, bring me up by the general and thing. The general send a word and say, the priest, honorable prophet times, he refresh himself and thing, and then he could come and have an audience with the general, the king. So I went and I eat a little something, wash my face and thing, and going up by the general. It's the first time I experienced that my presence, a person stood up just because of my presence. You didn't just keep sitting down and say, bless what? No. Honorable Prince Emmanuel is a royalty, you know. He's a mighty, mighty soul there. You know, say, the kind of integrity and moral ethics that him show us in the most humblest way. He sit down and say, well, do this and do that and do that. But when you observe the king and you observe the general, how him carry himself, how him relate to each and everyone, how him relate to you. So I came in the audience of the king and he stood up and blessed me. Now, the king is a man. Honorable Prince Emmanuel Charles Edward is a man. When you come into his space, he does all the talking for like at least a minute or two. And all he's talking about is you. Give thanks for the honorable patriarch, the mighty battle axe and weapon, my lord. And when he done talk to you, You can run through a troop or leap over a wall. You feel like a powerful man. Yeah. Him rise the God in us. And he blessed me up and he and then he sit down and we start conversing. So when he talking, I told him, I said, my Lord, to the man reincarnate in Jamaica and I reincarnate in Trinidad, I ain't too understanding here. So you can speak a little slower. And him just laugh and continue talking the same way. That I've read it on every priest rock and say, oh, every prophet Isaac, don't worry. From you in the courts a little while, you'll understand the black cry. So after a while, you understand that, because, you know, and then slow a little bit, and I get to understand all that was the effect of some of the beatings where him get, especially in the 1958 convention, because they beat that like a snake, you know, and figure say him dead. And then frightened when they say, but the man's still alive. So when we look back, we see it had an effect on his speech in a kind of a way.
Yes.
You know? So
can the I explain to the family about the 1958 convention and the tribulation for ones who don't know? Because we want to keep this educational. This is a mighty testimony. I see why Empress Sharon recommend the I. But if the I can just speak to I and I about the 1958 convention and what happened to Honorable Prince Emmanuel.
Well, I was born in 1955, so I was only 3 years old. So I could only give an account of what I heard and read. You know, and the first convention was really a collaborated effort with all of Rastafari. That means to say Bongo Watto was the ceremonial priest. Honorable Prince Emmanuel was the general secretary for it. So it was a collaboration. 12 Tribe didn't form as yet. So they had the convention. And I can't say I know exactly how the police charging on the man. Something a prophet, a brethren, they do. Remember, we also had the fire burn element there too, you know. So that is not that kind of an element. Because that come now from a more churchical tradition. At one time, him coming down, him was a revivalist. And then him come and hold on to the Selassie. And he also was a bannerman for Marcus Garvey, when Marcus Garvey used to have his meetings as a young man. So him tell me now, in the earlys, he was in a park camp doing a work on a roof, on a ladder. And this is not what I heard. He thought that I tell me this person. And him say the God, and it's an important key, because it's going to all connect. He say the God that lives in us all came and check him and tell him have our works to do. And him doubt the God. And him fall off the ladder. So the Brigadier General come out now and say, I will do this work here, so. And he say, me, sir. And he say, well, I want you clean up the park. I want you clean up this camp and the whole rest and the whole world. I want you clean up the rest of the camp and the whole world. And just say him take that as a message from the Father. And much other messages he gave him that he come and end up on the strad now. Right? So the 1958 convention was a collaboration of all the Rastaman them in the island. After as I say, it had enough atrocities, and that I get the whole that and batter bruising. I can't give you the exact detail of how it went, but I know to the way how them broke him up, then they throw him in a hearse or in a meat wagon, then say, because them swear blind him dead. And when them reach down there, them see him sitting up. That's why you hear them bring out the music. He lick him and he bounce him and he fling him down and he bounce right up. Hard man to dead. You know? And when that, after the convention, you find it kind of draw because that I stay down in Baka Wall, down on that side there, Bungo Wato and them, and they never stay with him, I believe, you know. And that's where the African National Congress started. Because before it was the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, it was the Africa National Congress.
Okay.
And it was down at Baka Wall, and then they moved to various other places. Can't remember the exact places until he finally reached up to 10 Miles Bulby. Priest Lamont might be able to give you a more detailed sketch on his movements because they symbolize it to say, well, like Nazareth and Bethlehem, but it's just as symbolical as to show you the trod moving through till they reach up Mount Teman, 10 Miles Bulby. So that was basically what the 1958 convention was. Because enough Rastaman sell all them things, because them swear blinds now, you know, we go in Africa. So enough man end up get stranded in the city in Kingston there. So, you know, and as I say, what I am saying, let me, you know, left to be corrected also, because I tell you, I was only 3 years old in an island that they ain't nothing but Rasta. See, so now, coming forward, the Wednesday evening I come and we had an audience with Dada and we talk and sing and enough reasoning and we glorify that I, even in Trinidad, get to hear the word. You know, kind of show me say, when on November 2nd, when Emperor Selassie get crowned, the word never reached down until the 11th of November. That is why at one time they celebrate the coronation at the 11th. So then when they get the second year, from the 2nd to the 11th, we have celebration service. But we started doing it November 11th. But that was when the information was very sluggish at that time, you know. So now, me there, you know, we burn chalice, enough reasoning, and me left. And me going up in the quarters that he set for me. I was staying with some other brethren, Priest Glass, Priest Diego, I think Priest Stretcraft, all of it was in this one house. You know, we have different beds. So Thursday morning, I hear one set of noise down by the gatehouse. So I said, what going on? The man, them a fight down there. I hear them, no, my lord. Psalms reading. And I said, oh. Now Psalms reading is 7 priests at the 4 doors at the tabernacle. And we all reading a different psalm at the top of our voice. So if you're reading and the next man reading a different psalm and you come to the point and say, Sila, every man stop and say, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, and start back with the reading. It's a mystical thing. So at that time, you know, it's only priests could read psalm. So that was Thursday morning, Thursday 12 o'clock, 6, 12, and 6. Thursday 6 o'clock. So I understand the psalms reading. Friday morning, and I'm Bobo Calvin asleep late. The final 5 o'clock, we done up on the veranda and reason and drinking roots and all them things there, burning split on. So priests rock up pass around all the time. Psalms readers. Psalms readers. So when them see me saying them on the veranda, yeah, priest Imsley, get a robe and come and read Psalms. Just says only a priest know that a priest is needed. So you is the priest. That's how I got priesthood. 2 days. And he said that I say on the altar for Sabbath. So I said, but what am I going to say? I don't know nothing. I just come here. I come to learn my large guy. And I saw me get on the, you know, I read Psalms. When I was on the Sabbath. That first Sabbath I spent on the hill. I was the 4th priest, I believe. You know, And after the service, Jah sent a word to say, give thanks for the spirituality of the man, Honorable Priest Imsley. And he sent a fish IT for me. Now, remember, say, we now coming out of the Nyabingi kind of trad. So we not eat no flesh, and I not eat no fish, and I was never a lover of fish in the first place. So when I taste, I say, wait, a fish that there, yeah, I say, why I not eat fish? That man says, that come from the king's kitchen, you know, I say, but I not eat fish, my lad. I mean, get an next property. And a reason start up, where a man I say, Prince Emmanuel, there's a pay on earth, and him bring Selassie, and him bring Mac. And a kind of a reason where I show him say, my lad, I can't really fathom what you're saying there, you know, Rasta. It's even something I can making sense what you're really trying to tell me. And it get a kind of a loud talking at Priest Dreadcraft. Tell us, say, my Lord is Sabbath. But one of the principles of Sabbath, no loud talking in the court. So him say, my Lord is Sabbath. All if you take all the voice down and take it to the general. The general is in the yard. So we all going around by Dada. Dada in whites on him throne and TV and him bless me. And as I tell you, say, under 1 minute, you can't talk. Him doing all the talking. And all him I talk about is you. So when he done talk now, I say, my lad, I don't like to get a clearance from the man. So he say, what? I say, my lad, how the man come on the earth? I remember you have all kind of thing, you know, with that there's a peer and trying to link him with Hebrews 7, Melchizedek, without father, without mother. And we took it literally. Man, they take it literally. We took it literally. Mm-hmm. But when the man put it over, I couldn't digest it. So when we reached to the Black Christ, man, we say, my lad, how the man come on the earth, my lad? And just say, him usually always like this. So. And then when you say something, we might go start. That moment, they never raise up him head. Him say, oh, my lad, all flesh come to a woe, my lad. All flesh come to a woe. So you see, the re-educating done started, but we still ain't ready fully, because that is a big thing even unto today. That if you have some bobo telling you, say, Dada, just appear. You know, that is that empress who was up there, who had a shop, and a day she was in there, and some person come and say, but look, Uncle Manny. And she said, what? Yeah, she that's my uncle. And she named Empress Angela. She write a book on it. I forget the name of the book. I think it's Prince King Emmanuel the 7th Reveal or something so. Where she started to do a research and found out that Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edward was born the 31st of May, 1914. It have some people still dispute that up to today. But this is where I tell you how I first start. You must say Rastaman don't die. So we come in with a particular mindset. And as I say, Jah is not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now a ship can't turn on a dime. So if you want to turn up, you have to start pulling the steering from here, so the turn done starting to make already. Yeah. So while I was there now, I reason with that, I must tell him, say, my lad, but you want me to tell the man them in Trinidad? You want me to tell them, say, forget our passport and come up here? I say, we are poor and have nothing, you know. We eat my food for tomorrow. And he said, no, my lad. What you see here, you tell them there, and we will meet on the golden shores of Africa. So he gave me the mandate after I was there for a moment, you know, and to show you the mindset and the what that I carry. He was him relaxed. I bred him washing them natty pain. So I sit down there. So afterwards now him gone out in the sun. He dry. So him in the sun, Prince time to come. And I turn up next to him and hear how he put it over. He say, my lad, the same God in the man is the same God in this man. This man just a try do alright. You see the humility of the honorable. He didn't say precisely as the black Christ, you know. And say, no, he's not that pompous of a person. You know? So we reason and things. So Trinidad is the place that make international a reality. Because when I reached there, they had already changed the name from African National Congress to Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. But it was only operating in Jamaica. You cannot be international if you're in one place alone. So Trinidad made the word international a reality. He also started to say, well,
And hold on, stick up in.
yeah, man.
I hear that the Trinidad Bobo Shanti House is one of the strongest globally. So the I has done something very mighty, in terms of establishing the order in Trinidad. How long was the I in Jamaica at that I Jerusalem schoolroom with the Honorable Prince Emmanuel?
Well, you made a statement there, which could be questioned. You say, I set down a mighty thing, and because a whole heap of thing went on. Right now, we're going to reach to that. We're going to reach to that one day. Yeah. I stayed there actually probably like 3 months.
Okay.
I didn't stay there long. Even amongst much of the brethren in Trinidad, I spent the least time. But the time that I spent was very, how to put it, compact. Because I was at his side right through. I had an audience to the king at any time, you know. At time I reasoning to that, and he in the free house on this tone of relief and reason with me through the door. So the way how him try, make me know everything. He sent me in the broom field to learn to make broom. So that, our sustainability, how to track the hymn, the psalms reading, even the fasting house, how to deal with it. So he gave me a whole compact in that moment and sent me in Trinidad. And we rise in Trinidad, and it was going good for a moment. And then things happen. I wouldn't get into the disputes, but at the end of the day, 3 priests reached back up by Prince Emmanuel to complain about my leadership. So when I left by Dada the first time, I experienced the Black Star liner because they sent me off in the airport with such royal. The Daniel band was in the truck, priest, prophet, empresses, and little one, all of them right down in the truck to send me home. It was like the passengers in the plane were saying, who is that man there? They have was a robe and royal, and, So anyway now, discrepancies come in the camp in Trinidad. To a point where it kind of separate. So the other side, man and man, went up by Dada, complain on my leadership role. So I went up there now to clarify the point. I went by myself. Looking back at it, I should have carried somebody else with me. But I was so confident that what I'm doing is right. So I went up there and it had a whole different, our youthfulness, our zealousness, sometime in our zeal, we don't realize we are each other's strength. And by putting down one to put yourself up is not strengthening, it's actually weakening. So I was accused of being a CIA agent. I was accused of all kind of things. So the human part of me Remember last year he tell me, before last he tell me, what you see here, you tell them there and we meet on the Golden Shores. This time the word was, all man down there for come up here. So that incident which part we accumulated a nice portion of money. Because when we first come down here, just sent me with brooms, but they confiscated at the airport. So then when I sit down and I look and see how we can sustain myself, the garden may show me nuts. And you find up to this day, Trinidad sustainability is nuts. It's still nuts. You know? So, but we had we did the things on the side, you know, Cali, and we accumulated a nice amount of money. And it brought about a sort of a division. Because I was seeing wherein let us open up a woodwork factory. Where we expand ourselves in a kind of way, because I was seeing it back then. But that gets shut down, you know, for whatever reason. And after the second visit, and I come back down Trinidad, I separate myself from the Bobo. And they continued. They end up leaving out where they first started, and now they end up down Walk Trade. I separated myself when I went up to Trinidad, back up in America. And the same brethren who brought the papers of Dada on the Gleaner is the same brethren I meet. And I can't remember what he told me to suffice that pain, that quell that pain that I felt and that betrayal that I felt, and open my heart to Dada again. It's something what they try to use against me even now. But it have a hymn where it say, perverse and foolish off I strayed. You know? Forget the name of the hymn. But it show you say, perverse and foolish off I strayed, but yet in love he sought me, and on his shoulder gently laid, rejoicing whom he brought me. So that's my testimony of myself, you know. Say, it had a time when I did kind of turn my back, I did feel hurt. The human part of me feel hurt. Getting done, explain all of that in a while too. So anyway, the brethren quelled pain, and me pick up the trad again in myself. And then 1992, the 100th year birthday of His Imperial Majesty, we say, I had a place of business. So I say, boy, Nash, you know, if we put up the Trinity there, it would have been royal. And he said, I'm always thinking some big thing. We don't have no money to do that. Long story short, that same day, we met an artist out of the clear blue sky. And when I tell him of my vision and ask him how much he would charge me, he tell me, I would have asked you how much you're charging me to have the honors to put up them pictures on the wall. To show you say how the God does move mysterious. So I write that and tell him of the whole running. Pick out a picture with me in a crown, not even turban, and send it to him. And the Black Christ write me back like if I was there yesterday. You know? And so that inspired me to put back on my turban. And I put back on my turban now, and the God in me show me say, well, you know what? We have to rise something in Philadelphia. And I rise the church, the office of the church in Philadelphia, which is even a strong point right now as we speak. You know? And we had a nice momentum going on between Philadelphia and Miami. So Miami came and opened up the first Church of Salvation, the first office of the Congress in Miami in 1992. Okay. Had a big celebration. It was all on the front page in the Miami Herald. So that inspired me now to rise one in Philadelphia. And then we had brethren in Connecticut. We have brethren in Brooklyn. We have brethren in Washington. And we had a nice coalition at that time, in the early 2000s. You know? And After that now, well, my father and them get sick, so I end up coming back down to Trinidad. And brethren seen me for the first time in how much? Over 20 years must be.
So,
Over 20 years.
hold on, stick a pin. There I know the Honorable Priest Mugabe.
Prophet Mugabe?
Yes, from DC.
I'm a bread, he passed away now.
Yes.
I'm a bona fide brethren.
It is one of my bridging too, you know, because the first time, you know, he was tried in E.A.I.B.C when I tried to the E.A.I.B.C house. As a matter of fact, the bingy used to be at his gates in BC, and then it transferred to another spot, and he was the Islet of Throne, you know, for the bingy house. And the first time I ever see the Pope video, His Majesty visiting the Pope, was Honorable Priest Mugabe. The first time, you know what I mean? And even when he was hit and in the hospital, you know, I used to go check him. I was there the night when they wanted to unplug him from the machine, and his mother stood up for him, and the doctor said he would never walk again, he would never talk again, he would be a vegetable, you know. And I lived to see walking through a Union Station, and I hear Rasquasi, and I look and I see Ras Mugabe walking and talking, you know what I mean? And I actually interviewed his son recently, so one of our key bridges. So I'm glad to know that the I is one of the pillars from Philadelphia. Ras Jaja is also I brethren bona fide. So it is a small world.
Small world. Got him used to fellowship in Philadelphia.
Yes, I.
You know? Right. And as they, when we tell them I rise the office, I visited them in the hospital too. You know, in the first part, I visited him in the hospital. And I spoke with him afterwards, you know, and it was so sad to hear him pass away. Yes. But that was a mighty boy. Very educated because he's a teacher.
Yes, I.
Yeah. So I came back down to Trinidad and start function with the brethren and them once more. You know, everybody was surprised to see me. I guess we was glad to see me. And from since then, I've been in Trinidad rising. But what I tell you now, the ship don't start to turn. And enough of us not turning with the ship because everything grows. Anything that don't grow dies.
Yes.
So we see Bobo Shanti is growing, and some of us don't want to accept the growth. You know, when we understand, when the man tell we about man of right is God in flesh, woman of right is goddess in flesh. It's true, but that God is in a mortal flesh. The flesh is not immortal. The God in the internal is immortal. And it's something where we're not coming to grasp with in this time. You know, also, you know, we reach to the point where we say, when we reach Africa, the first thing we want to build instead of a church is a business. Because sustainability is a key. We see all of us getting elder, enough of us wear glasses, enough of us need dental works and health works. Where is the Bobo dentist? Where is the Rastaman opticianal? You know, we have a brethren who is a brain surgeon in I think I forget where he is in America. Dr. Desmond Brown, you ever heard of him?
Yes, sir.
We put on him turban in Philadelphia. Small world, you know. So in the evolution, in the growing part of it now, we see where we want to encourage the children and them, our young children, go to school, get educated, because we have the foundation, you know, we have the foundation here now, you know. So our key element, one of our key things we're holding us down is our way of sustaining ourselves. You know, So this is where we are at this point now where we got to organize. We got to don't let dogmatic meditation separate us from one to another. You know, so we are at a tedious point here. Every Sunday, I'm affiliated with the Council of Elders, where we come together and reason. You know, I'm gonna send a link for you, and you're always welcome to come in and even hear and even voice your opinion because freedom of expression and freedom of thought. You know, so this is the junction we are at right now. How do we sustain ourselves? How do we take up ourselves from being down on the bottom of the food chain and be more professional? Some man figure say Babylon soon born. You know, have to go to school and like Babylon school. But if we didn't had who didn't had Rasta parents went to that same school and achieved what we achieved, that I could speak now, I could write a letter, look at the eye, you know what I mean? I know you went to school. Why should we deny our children? And we are Rastaman now. If the school never sway we then, how we could sway our children from we give them the proper teachment, you know? So we need to educate. Emperor Selassie, I say education, you know? So we have the Black Christ Foundation, which is a way of life, a principled way of life that we have you know, our universal kitchen, you know, we have the tabernacle, seven priests supposed to read the Psalm 6, 12, and 6, you know, but in this dispensation, to the way how it is, you doesn't see seven priests come out. You don't see seven priests come out for the service because the man is not here right now amongst us. But you have to start see the man in us. The same way how we let's see, because look at the heights of Honorable Prince Emmanuel. Here we
Yes.
call himself Prince Emmanuel Charles Edward. So his name is Charles Edwards, but he rise Emmanuel in himself, that he man live that Emmanuel.
Mm.
You understand? That is what we have to do now. Be that Emmanuel, live that Emmanuel. You know, say, because that is what we talk about, that God is in us all. Because we sat down with Dada and burn chalice and pray, but we never kneel down and pray to him. But we all pray together to the God in us all. Remember when I tell him, say, the same God in the man is the same God in this man. This man just a try to do all right. So coming along the way, we kind of Jesus down the man. The Bible him always show we is a compass. We no reason it literal to say, well, I brethren check me already. So you believe Job was really alive? Me say, my lord, that is irrelevant. Look at the lesson. It's an allegory. Look at the lesson. So this is what we are encouraging now, young man and the young woman them. We don't want to get caught up in dogmatic things. We're just holding we down and we using the Bible and Jesus in down we sell. Now, the Levites, we are the Melchizedek order. Melchizedek was before Levites. Levites come and they have certain thing where the foundation they base off of the Melchizedek priesthood. The Melchizedek priesthood is an internal, wherein to say, see what they tell you? Lo such the child whose early feet had trod the paths of is upward drawn to God. We are from them times there. We are up them man from that time they manifesting this time here to show back the world. Don't look out at yourself to see God. See the God in yourself. I am not the Almighty God, but the essence of the Almighty God dwells in I. And I could elevate it, I could rise it in myself. The man say, yeah, a man named Dr. James Small, put it over. We are gods having a human experience. So the human experience, you meet up some of the most wonderfulest people, and I know they have no word as wonderfulest, but that's how it could be. Some of the most wonderfulest people. And then you meet up some of the most wicked people. So it all manifests in flesh. Is what are you going to elevate in your flesh, in your humanity? Are you going to elevate the higher sense or the basic, typical, ordinary human? And this is where the man comes to show you. We want to have a world of Christ. So that means to say now, each other is the real strength. Each other is the practicing ground for we to practice that love, that understanding, that honorable conflict resolutions. Because your very teeth bite your very tongue. You don't cut out your tongue or pull out your teeth. You eat more conscious. You're more conscious of what you're doing. It's the same thing.
Hold on. The I is really a key historical figure because when I'm hearing this, I didn't even know that I had the connection to the Philly Bobo Shanti because as a young brethren, the DC family used to always be going up to Philly. We used to see them judge up Honorable Priest Mugabe, and sometimes the Philly ones would come to events in DC. You know what I mean? So I didn't realize it was the I works I was witnessing from that time. So I'm gonna have to bring the eye forward to get a more in-depth vibration. This is just the first touch. When we bring guests here on the Lion Voice Network, we don't just do one reasoning, because reasoning have no end in Mount Zion. So, and the articulation of the Bobo Shanti tradition and the man in flesh, I mean, man of right is God in flesh. The way that I articulate it is the clearest, one of the clearest I've heard. Honorable Priest Lamont also gave such a great articulation, and I think more people need to hear from the item in terms of where the movement is treading as we return to Africa in our numbers. This is going to be so crucial for us to have platforms like this where the global family can hear from elders like the I. The I is one of the original Bobo Shanti ambassadors of the Chad, who has been carrying the mission, in the Western Hemisphere. So I'm honored and privileged to reason with the I on this day. And as I say, I'm going to bring the I forward that we can go more in depth. But I just want the I to give us some final sound so we can seal up this edition, and then we're gonna bring the eye forward again to go, because each thing that you say is a whole episode by itself. The time in Jamaica is an episode. The Philly is an episode. You know what I mean? The New York. I mean, all of these are just by itself. We can reason on that. You know what I mean? Everything that the eye is saying is so mighty. So please just give I and I some final word sound, and then as we say, we're gonna bring the honorable priest forward. Drop your sound in the comments, family, and let us know what questions, and show some love, because this is history that we are getting. We are honored to get this exclusive history here on the Lion Voice Network. So please give us your final sound to the global Rastafari and Pan African family.
My Lord. And I will add one thing to you where you say the 25th of May, we always came down to Washington.
Yes.
That was Washington Day. 25th of May, African Liberation Day, we always come down on that side. Yes, my Lord. So what we are saying in this time is that unity is our only accepted goal. So let us strive to unite. Let us learn to disagree honorably, because listen to the word behind the word. That is the real God in flesh trust. Because our heart is not indicting a good matter. So the same way I see myself, or the same way I will see you. So if we see ourselves pure, then we're going to see the purity in the next man. Because that is what Dada taught us, to see the purity and to rise the purity in yourself. So as you say, my lad, I give thanks for this moment to even, share part of my history, and where I'm coming from. And I know it was probably in a lot of gaps, but as you say, we're going to reason again. And Rastafari is the chariot for all freedom fighters. From the 70s to the 60s, Rastafari. But what we come to show the world is that we want to have black solidarity across the board. That means to say a black man who is a good man, who is not no wicked man, he is a respectable man, but he's a Christian, I don't have a problem with him. A black man who is a Muslim and standing up strong and strong, I don't have no problem with it. Because His Majesty, and I will close with this, His Majesty shows that we are such a diverse group of people because of the transatlantic slave trade, that we find ourselves in all different schools of thought. But the one common thing is that we all face the same problem. So now we have a whole diverse group, a whole diverse collection of solutions to the same problem. Because we are facing the same problem. So let me start our black solidarity across the board. And don't let our faith be a wall, but let our faith be a bridge, my Lord.
Mighty, mighty. So you So, family, there you have it. The words of wisdom from one of our honorable Asians within the Chad, the Lion Voice Network. We are bringing forward the voices that need to be heard in this time as we come together, the great gathering of Rastafari. The item here, Bobo Shanti on this platform. The item here, Naya Bingi on this platform. The item here, 12 Tribe of Israel on this platform, the IDMC Orthodox on this platform, EWF on this platform. And it's because we are building that unity. We are agreeing to disagree. We are finding the points that we agree on and building bridges on those points. We all agree on the divinity of His Imperial Majesty. We also agree on the unity between our Pan-African family, even if you're not Rastafari and you love this channel. As the brethren say, we are one, and we are building that because we know that we are the witnesses of the tide that is sweeping Africa. His Majesty said that Africa is on the verge of an economic, political, and cultural development that, when realized, will be without parallel in history. We are the generation of them that seek His face, and that will implement this great vision. And we are blessed that we have elders like Honorable Priest Imsley to guide us on this mission. Big up all of our Rastafari around the world. And I pray that this was the item full joy this as much as I did, because this was a powerful sip, living history. Brethren sat, reason, talk with Honorable Prince Emmanuel. What a joy. So, family, hit the like button, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell a brethren to tell a brethren, tell a sister to tell a sister that the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion's Voice.
Lion Voice. But the Almighty has manifested Himself in physical form and was born as Lich to Farai Makonnen. Through hard work and diligence, He attained the title of the Chas Match. When He fought in many wars and was crowned as Ras. By the will of the people, He was given the title of Negos, and by destiny, Nogus and Agas, the King of Kings. I and I are His children. One day we are gonna do where Marco say, take a long journey across the ocean wave. One day we'll do things Rastafari way. One day we are will give Jah thanks and praise. One day we are go do where Marco say. Take a long journey cross the ocean wave. One day we'll do things Rastafari way. One day we gonna free our mental slave. One day we are go live better. Read and listen, I see I speech and overstand every letter. One day we are go live well. Spread and listen, I see I teach and trap the wicked down the hell. Escape Vatican spell. Escape the brave, I and I are the slave that rebel. Safe in a Zion we will dwell. I see I listen, I see I face while treading as him angel. One day we are go do where Marco say. Take a long journey across the ocean wave. One day we'll do things Rastafari way. One day we are will give Jah thanks and praise. One day we are go do where Marco say. Take a long journey across the ocean wave. One day we'll do things Rastafari way. One day we gonna free our mental slave. One day you're heaven on the earth. Everywhere you search, man a hill I listen, I see I the first. One day the guns will stop burst. One day the preacher will go tell the youth the truth in the church. One day the youths will stop curse. One day the sun will provide the energy for do the work. One day there will be no more pain and hurt. One day we take a aeroplane and splurge.